This is a Defocus Media production.
Audio Jungle.
What's up, everyone? It's your favorite optometrist, Dr. Darryl Glover.
And I'm Dr. Jennifer Lyerly, resident optometry nerd.
And welcome to Defocus Media, optometry's #1 podcast, where we discuss the hottest topics, latest technology, eyewear, practice management, and more. So sit back, relax, and defocus. What's up, everyone? It's your favorite optometrist, Dr. Darryl Glover. Today, I am super excited because I get to hang out with a panel of all-stars. And both of these individuals, both of these rock stars, both of these eye care stars, I've known for quite a bit of time. As a matter of fact, when I first got started in eye care and I first started really getting into that fashion piece, I used to wear this gentleman's frame every single day to patient care, to the point where it kind of forced a relationship with us. And this other amazing young lady has really made a big name for herself, especially when it comes to conferences, the Vision Council, and all that other jazz. Friends and family, I'd like to welcome my two colleagues, Ashley Mills and Scott Shapiro. How are you two doing today?
Hi, Doctor.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're
Great to see you.
doing
Great
well.
to be here.
Well, it's good to see you two. How's everything been? I mean, it's the world is changing. The world is opening up, and this evening I'm super excited to really talk about the Vision Council and the Vision Expo. I mean, are you two game for that? Are you excited about that?
I think
Go ahead, Scott.
I think we're beyond game for it, right? You brought the right two people to talk about Expo because we've been waiting 3 years to get back to New York City, and I think everything is falling into place to make this a huge party. What we've been waiting for now for 3 years, which is finally an opportunity to get back together and let loose together, and I think it's going to happen.
Absolutely. How about you, Ashley?
Yeah, I mean, we couldn't be happier. We are just seeing such an incredible response from the market. I know this is going to be a strong show. We know people are coming. It's incredibly important to the Vision Council, our exhibitors, our attendees, and business. And yeah, you and I have had a couple conversations over the last 2 years. This is definitely the happiest one.
Yeah, well, I'm super excited. I already have my hotel booked. My flight is already in order. I'm already looking at my schedule, trying to map out everything, my networking, all that jazz. So I'm super excited. Before we get started and talk about this, I would love to just learn a little bit more about what you two do with the Vision Council, because the Vision Council is a big deal, and the Vision Council creates a lot of value for eye care professionals. So if you don't mind, maybe just talking about what you do in particular and what the Vision Council is all about.
Yeah, thank you for asking. The Vision Council represents the entire optical industry, including all of the manufacturers and eyewear designers and eyewear companies, as well as optical retailers. And our goal is to promote vision. Vision is everything. We're here to promote growth in the industry, and I'm thrilled that Scott is joining me tonight. He's been a tremendous volunteer leader for the Vision Council for several years. He's currently leading our show committee, which oversees our work with Reed Exhibitions. Reed is our 50-50 partner on the show. They're a great partner. They help us deliver a great and meaningful opportunity for everyone to get together. And Scott can also speak not just for what the Vision Council does for its members and the industry, but also how we are engaged in the show process and what it means to be an exhibitor at the show.
Yeah, so the show committee is made up of 9 members. Each one represents a different committee from the Vision Council. So that show committee, I think, really does a nice job of sort of spreading out the landscape so that every member of that committee represents a different part of the industry. And, we work together to help try and make Vision Expo the best show it can be. Each committee member is also an exhibitor, just like our company Europa is. So we really get a chance to see firsthand, what the show needs in order to maximize the experience, both for attendees and for exhibitors. And yeah, our company Europa is a member of the Vision Council proudly, and we are an exhibitor at Vision Expo. We haven't missed a Vision Expo probably in about 40 years. We've been going to Vision Expos almost as long as I've been alive. And you know, from a company perspective, Europa sees the show as incredibly valuable, as an opportunity for us, a very rare opportunity to meet our customers, meet our colleagues in person, shake their hands, thank them for their business, show them what we've been working on, you know, for the last year or 6 months. And also, you know, we look at it as sort of doing our part also to support the industry. You know, the Vision Council, as Ashley mentioned, is a very important organization that does a lot of great work for all of us, eye care professionals, vendors. And so we feel like by taking our booth and being there with our colleagues and with our peers, we're really doing a lot to help support the Vision Council and our industry as a whole.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't know the Vision Council did so much. I mean, that's a big deal. And I'm glad that you're taking care of this business so it can make our lives easier as eye care professionals. Now, I wanted to kind of circle back on something. Scott, you sparked something, man. You said that you've been dealing with this show since, you know, you were born for the most part, right? So that means there has to be some type of story, some type of precious moment or memorable moment that you experienced during Vision Expo that you got to share with everybody. And Ashley, you have to share your exciting moment as well. So if you don't mind, Scott, let's start with you, and then Ashley, you can jump in afterwards if you don't mind sharing it.
So, like most of my peers, there are countless memories that I have. It would take too long to go through all of them. I will point out, so yeah, I've been going to Expo since I was probably about 6 years old, and my level of responsibility at that time was very low. But I did, you know, at that time we used to have to transport our booth from Chicago to New York. We would like fold it up into these suitcases, basically. And so there were always more. I remember there were always too many suitcases. We would get charged, you know, for taking them. At that time, you didn't get charged for every piece of luggage, but you got charged for excess. And so I remember my dad telling me, "Listen, at the airport, when they ask you, you tell them those are your bags." So, you know, you know, a few for each person. Then as I got older, I don't know if it's my favorite memory, but it's a pretty good story. When I was 21 years old, I was going to school in Arizona, and my parents, the company's located in Chicago. So for Vision Expo West, my dad called me up and he says, "Listen, bring your best friend, your roommate, and drive up to Las Vegas, and I'll pay you. I'll get you a hotel, and I'll pay you $100 a day each, and you guys just have to work the show. I don't know what you're going to do yet, but we'll find something for you to do." So we drive up, and you know, you put two 21-year-olds in Las Vegas, and you know, we never went to bed. We were up all night long. $100 a day was a lot of money for us.
Oh yeah, back then, I'm pretty sure, man.
Sure. So we were up all night long, and I'll never forget. So my dad, all 3 mornings, we would be up till like 6 a.m. and we would go to sleep. And my dad had a key to our room, so he would come in, barge in, and he would slam $200 bills on the floor, on the table at 7 a.m. And he'd be like, "Get up, it's time to go to work." And so we would like crawl out of bed, and you know, but we had to stand there and give out. At the time, we had a jazz collection. That was the name of our frames, the jazz collection. So we had to hand out jazz CDs to anybody who was walking by. And, you know, we were zombies. But the funny thing is, I learned later on in my career that that experience is not unique to 21-year-olds. There's a lot of people who work the show just like that for 3 days, well into their careers.
Yeah, awesome. Well, you know, funny story for me, I had 2 stories really. One I shared previously on another podcast. It was when I first met Oliver Goldsmith. He knew who I was, and he called me over. The second one actually involved you, Scott, believe it or not. When I first met you, I didn't realize that you were the guy whose frame I was wearing. So after a while, I don't know if you remember it, but I was just kind of like, "Oh man, really? You're like, this is your frame? This is your design?" Like it blew my mind. I had no idea at that time. So for me, that was one of those magical moments of, that was early on when eye care was really starting to get online. And you remember I was doing some blogging, taking
Yeah.
pictures of eyewear and stuff like that. And you guys,
To me, you were already a celebrity at that time, so I'm honored I was part of your memory.
So, it's just one of those things. When I first met you in person, I had no idea who you were. And then once I realized and I connected the dots, I was blown away. So you are part of one of my most memorable moments at Vision Expo. So thank you so much for making it a memorable moment. Ashley, you're up. What's going on? I know you have a lot of stories because you do a lot, at the show, before the show, after the show. I know you have great stories that you can share.
I do, but I can't say that I knew Scott Shapiro way back when. I don't know my story. I'm happy to know him now. I think my favorite story was I worked at the Vision Council 2 times. So in 2003, right after I got married, I was interviewing for this job, and they brought me up to see the show before we proceeded in making the offer and everything. And to be honest, I had never been to a trade show at that point. I was a communications and marketing person, and I was going to do marketing for the trade show. And so I rode the train up, and I walk into the Javits Center, and I was just like starstruck, quite frankly. I mean, the first time you see the show, and then again after I had left the Vision Council and came back, like the first time I saw Vision Expo East again, when I came back to the Vision Council in 2016, you just, I think it just takes my breath away. You walk in and there's the fashion and there's the healthcare and there's the technology and the people and the excitement. And, the show is a very special thing that has a lot to it. And it's just really all there for you when you walk in. So I have my second first time and my first time are probably my best memories of the show.
Oh, yeah.
And can't wait this might be my third first time since we haven't had it
You know
for
what?
years.
Something I love that you touched on was just that feeling, that vibe, that energy. The
Mhm.
first time I walked in, I had the same feeling. The second time I went, I had that same feeling. And the second time I went, I actually brought my wife along with me. And when she walked in, she couldn't even believe where she was at. She was just
Right.
like, this is like Disney World of eye care. I mean, you got all types of different vendors with these spectacular booths. You got music playing, you got eyewear rock stars and celebrities, you got education going on. It's just like a whole new world. And it's so crazy that it's underneath one roof. I mean, it's just very powerful and just very touching. And it's just, it brings a different type of energy every single year. So I feel you in regards to that first experience, that first time. I feel like I have that every single year that I go to Vision Expo.
Well, it's new again.
Right. That energy is going to be exponential this time around. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Vision Expo is back in NYC this year, right? So, I'm super excited about that. A lot of people go for the conference, but there's also some off-campus expo traditions and things that take place. I mean, if you don't mind maybe sharing a little bit about those things, because it's not just energy in the Javits Center, it's energy all throughout New York. It's like eye care takes over the entire city. Hell, I'm gonna say it takes over the entire state. How about that? But if you don't mind sharing some of these non-tradition things, that'd be great to know and explore.
Are you talking about special events or stuff that we do individually?
Yeah, just your favorite off event thing that you do. I mean, is it a place you go, or is there a party that you go to? Let's talk about some of those things.
Scott, I'm going to go first, if that's okay.
Please.
You think of yours, but you might have many. My favorite off-campus event at the show, that is terrible. I can't pick one, but I will pick one. The OWA Champagne Breakfast, recognizing women in leadership in the optical industry. It is early in the morning. You have to wake up extra early. It takes a long time to get a cab. And you walk in, and the entire industry has gotten up early to show their support for professional women and their careers and promoting their careers in the industry. And it is so celebratory, and
Yeah,
um,
Ashley, there is drinking there, right?
it's a champagne breakfast, Scott.
I just wanted to make sure. We talk about getting up early, but there's a payoff.
That's well worth it, right?
If you can get there, there is champagne. No, it's a spectacular event, and I also just think this industry was doing it way before promoting women in industry was cool, and it's the 25th anniversary of the OWA, so um, I think that has to be just. I mean, again, I do not like to get up early. I'm a sleeper. That is the one where I will be there, and so will the whole industry, really, to show support for our stars, our star women leadership. So that's my favorite. Scott, top that.
So if we talk about Expo traditions, all of mine have to do with food, right? So again, Expo is, I live in Chicago. Usually that's the only time of year, maybe once, maybe twice a year, I get to go to New York. And as an exhibitor, a lot of attendees might not realize this, but for most exhibitors like us, Expo is not just the time for us to meet with our customers during the show, but we get there on like Monday or Sunday night of the show. And then we meet with all of our vendors from around the world for those few days leading up to Expo. So that gives us a lot of meals in New York City, which is really a great. There's no better place in America to eat than in Manhattan. So we always try to make sure that we get at least one stop at a deli. Usually, it used to be the Stage Deli, but the Stage Deli is not around anymore. So now we go to Katz's. If we can break away, we always have a lunch at Katz's. And there's this sushi place in the theater district called Sushi of Gari. I don't want to give it away. This is like a secret place that my wife and I used to go to. She gets upset now because I bring everybody else. It's not like a special romantic place anymore. But yeah, I mean, so those are two spots I always try to stop at whenever I'm there for Expo, because again, of course the show is the highlight, but being able to visit New York City and be a part of, especially now, having not been there for this is the longest I've been away from New York City, again, my entire life. So it's really exciting to get back and be a part of those traditions again.
Yeah, for me, man, my wife always says I'm crazy. She says every time I do this, she's like, "You're not gonna wake up tomorrow morning." But I always get a hot dog from off the street, and she's like, "You are crazy as hell for doing that." But for me, it's something about being in New York. You got to get a hot dog. You got to talk
sure.
there. You got to get the chips. I don't even drink soda, but that's at one time I get me a little bit of soda as well. So I try to live that New York life and just experience that. So every year I do that. But yeah, there's a lot of great things that take place outside of the Vision Expos, no doubt about it. That's theme related. But let's get into the meat of the show. Let's talk about the show. I'd love for us to elaborate on that a little bit more. If you don't mind, just telling us the layout, what it's going to look like, Ashley, because I'm curious to know, because we're coming back to New York. Get me prepared so I can have my running shoes on and know exactly where to go.
Okay, I'm glad that you're suiting up, because there's a lot to see. It's many years ago, before COVID, we had re-envisioned the entire show to make it actually like being in New York neighborhoods. And so we created all these cool neighborhoods, and that's how we've laid out the exhibit. So your experience at the show that I've been talking about, but now we're actually going to get to experience, will feel very different and experiential and New York like. And so you'll have the park based on Central Park, where you find all of our mainstays, all of the big brands. That's where you find your EssilorLuxottica, your Ray-Bans, all of that will be there. And you'll then, below, we also have the focus, and that's where our technology is, our lens technology. We have Zeiss down there, and all of the exhibitors, if you're interested in more of the medical and diagnostic manufacturing side. We've also added this year an atelier, which is our high-end, super exclusive designers. We have the Springs, which is inspired by Jackson Pollock's area in I guess would be like the Hamptons, Long Island, and that's where your up and comers are coming from. And then the union is kind of our independent designers getting in, really getting a feel for, we're trying something different. We might not be branded totally yet. And when that all comes together, I think you'll have a really like logical, experiential kind of experience going through the show. But keep in mind, it's based on New York City, so you'll need a lot of time to hit all of the neighborhoods.
Absolutely. Now, is there a certain neighborhood we should start with, or is it just whatever your cup of tea, your flavor is? Just kind of jump in the mix and walk around, or what do you recommend?
No, I think the thing with the virtue of the show as it is and the size of this show is that there is a neighborhood for everyone, depending on what you're looking for or what you want to discover. And so the best advice is not exactly where to start, but start with your schedule and book your meetings and make sure you're on the website checking out where everyone is and what you really want to see more than anything.
I love it. I love it. And Scott, where are you going to be at, man? Because I got to stop by and see, man. I got to see that $1 million smile, baby.
Darryl, I hope you honestly do come by. We've got a lot of exciting things, just like all of our peers do. It's been a long time since we've been able to exhibit in New York, and so we're treating this like it's an even bigger deal than it usually is. And we're going to have an American Optical Museum. Actually, the Optical Heritage Museum in Southbridge, Massachusetts. We have a remote version of that in our booth.
Wow.
That we're going to be showing. Our creative director, Nico, did an incredible job putting that together. So that's something we're very excited about. But another thing that we're going to be featuring, that Expo is going to be featuring this year, is the Now Pavilion. It's something that hasn't been done before by Expo, but again, my friend and colleague Nico would be very angry with me if I didn't mention it. If we're talking about Expo this year, he put a lot of work into it. He's on the show committee, and the idea behind the Now Pavilion, and it's going to be right there by one of the front entrances, is that it's supposed to really showcase all the trends in eyewear this year. So. A lot. I think there's like 120 different exhibitors that are going to be exhibiting some piece of eyewear that fits one of the current trends based on a board that was put together, a committee that was put together in order to sort of decide what trends would be talked about this year. And this year it's all about eyewear, but in the future, that Now Pavilion is also going to feature technology and other products. I think it's a really, nice reflection of one of the benefits that Expo offers to the industry, which is to really sort of give this structured presentation about, what's going on. So many people, I think, come to Expo because they want to see trends. They want to,
Yes.
both in terms of fashion and technology,
Yep.
and they want to get a feel for what's going on. And so that Now Pavilion is going to be a sort of a nice little microcosm for that.
Yeah. The one thing I love about Vision Expo, and I'm assuming it's the Vision Council that's coming up with this, is just the different themes you come up with every single year. It's always unique. It's always different. It's always relevant to the time. And it's innovative. It's one thing to go to a conference and you see the same thing over and over and over and over. That'll actually make you not want to go to a conference, at least me. But with Vision Expo, it's just like a rebirth every single time. And maybe that's the reason why every time I go, I feel like it's my first time, because you're always, innovative when it comes to the thinking. You're always thinking outside of the box. You're always thinking of ways to just really enhance the value or the life of the eye care professional that's attending for the most part. So, continue the great work on that. The showroom floor is amazing always, but also something that's also quite spectacular is the education. As an optometrist, I always tend to get all my hours done at Vision Expo simply because you have the best presenters, you have the best speakers, you have the best KOLs. It's just always good content. If you don't mind, Ashley, maybe share a little bit about the speakers and the different programs that are available this year at Vision Expo.
We're definitely, I think Scott just said it, is everyone's coming back and we're coming back a lot bigger. So we have a tremendous program assembled for everyone this year. I want to look at my notes because There are a lot of numbers. So 230 hours of CE and then 9 specialized tracks that get into everything ranging from systemic disease and very, very detailed medical issues relevant to optometry. Um, these clinical tracks are macular degeneration, anterior segment, glaucoma. You could probably rattle them off for me. And then also, we're thrilled on the other side of the program to welcome back our partners at Opticon who are delivering the
Nice.
opticianry and contact lens program. And that's really for any professional that's working in the office. And as we see optometry expand its scope and doctors being able to provide more medical services, I think that role of the optician is becoming more and more significant. And so we have a really nice complement of programming from Opticon as well as a very OD focused program on the other side. So
I love it.
plenty of great speakers, plenty of relevant content. And that's just the CE side. That's not the other education that we do on the show floor throughout.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, if you don't mind. I mean, you always have standout speakers. There's always, some celebrity that's coming in the building. I would love to learn a little bit more about that.
We have quite a good program put up. I mean, we always have great speakers. It's awesome to be able to deliver education on the show floor that's more business or fashion or professional development oriented. So this year we're gonna tackle the relevant issues. I think that's what makes our show so different and exciting. We're talking about crypto and metaverse,
Oh,
and
nice.
we're going out there on things that are coming and happening, and that'll be really exciting. We have several panel discussions on those totally current emerging topics, and then we also have our keynote celebrity guest Dapper Dan, who will be on the bridge on Saturday afternoon, and I couldn't be more excited about this. This is an individual who we've wanted to have for years, and he's really an innovator. He's an icon, and I think we can all gain some inspiration from his story. So we're not holding back. This is A-team, A-list caliber programming this year.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that you have Dan coming. I mean, that's a big name. And I love the piece that you're adding more diversity to this speaking opportunity as well. So I just want to say thank you in regards to that. I love to always see diverse panels and to have him, someone that, like you said, is an icon that's done so much, that's worked with huge brands, Gucci. I mean, like he's a big deal. If you guys did not know who Dapper Dan is, go Google him, look him up, show up the Vision Expo, because he is going to blow your mind. And if you're an entrepreneur or early designer or aspiring designer, this is the guy that you want to sit in the room in and just soak up any kind of game that he throws out there. So I'm super excited about that.
We are too.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we have the $1 million question. We're going to New York. New York hasn't been open in who knows how long for Vision Expo. What's going on with the safety? Because everyone wants to know what's going on, especially as things change over time. If you don't mind, maybe sharing a little bit about that piece, so we can have a good understanding of what we're getting ourselves into.
Okay. So understanding that things are changing rapidly, we do have a very real update, which is exciting. So we follow state and city guidance on everything. So we waited for New York, and then we waited for New York City. And then we waited for the Javits Center. So the Javits Center has recently, I think Monday or just a few days ago, said that vaccination status and masks are no longer required to enter. So while Javits employees will be masked, it is no longer required for Vision Expo attendees to show proof of vaccination or wear a mask, which means we will see smiles around. We will see everyone's smiling faces. The entire other half of everyone's faces will be visible at Vision Expo, which is really exciting. I did see I did see today that the travel mandate has been extended across the US, that on planes and in public transportation, it's still required. So while it is not required at the Javits Center to be at our show, I think everyone should just be prepared for other things that they're doing in New York City, taking cabs, flying, taking trains, etc.
Gotcha. Well, one thing that I always like to end with the show is how should we dress for Vision Expo? With New York, sometimes it can be a little funny, right? I've been there where it snowed, I've been there when it's been hot, and I've been there where my feet have hurt because I try to be cute and wear some loafers. I would love to get advice from both of you, a male's perspective, a woman's perspective, because everyone's coming, but I want them to be ready because this is major. If you've never been to Vision Expo, one thing I can tell you is wear comfortable shoes, but I'd love to get some feedback from you too.
Ashley, would you mind if I go first?
Please go first.
Okay, so I'm not really generally one. I'm not Mr. Fashion. I don't follow all the trends, but one thing that seems really obvious to me is that post-COVID, we live in a comfortable fashion world. So what was not acceptable 3 years ago is perfectly fine. Hoodies, sweatpants, socks. I think it's all perfectly fine. Now, at our booth, of course, everyone has a dress code. They can't dress like that. But if you're an attendee, I say have at it, man. The world is your oyster. Make sure you're comfortable, just like Dr. Glover said.
Yeah, that's that athleisure. My wife loves
That's right.
That stuff, man.
You can make it look good. As long as you do it right, you can make it look good.
She makes it look amazing. But you know what? It got to one point where I was like, baby, you can't just wear that everywhere. You gotta dress up a little bit. Come on now. I'm in a blazer. You got on, your Nike, your Adidas, your Puma, whatever it is. And then she bought me some of that stuff. And ever since then, I've been kind of stuck, man. I haven't worn a blazer. Well, let me take that back. I maybe wear a blazer once every 2 weeks. Now, even at work, I'm wearing scrubs. When I'm out, I have joggers on. I have sneakers on. Like, my whole life has changed completely since COVID has taken place.
The only time I ever wear a blazer is when I have a Zoom call. Other than that, I have no.
Or a live stream, right?
Exactly. My wife Amanda, she calls her jeans now hard pants. She's like, "Oh man, I got to get dressed up. I got to wear my hard pants today."
I love it. But I'm all about that comfort for sure. All right, Ashley, you're up. You got to give some tips for the ladies out there.
Listen, I think that it is all our responsibility to wear awesome eyewear at this event, and then anything else goes. I think this is our chance to really. Your eyewear still fits, whatever else you're wearing. That's your choice. I think people are going to bring their A game, but I think that eyewear, especially now without masks. You're used to having something on your face. It should be spectacular glasses or similar. That's my
totally agree.
Fashion prediction for Vision Expo East.
I love it. Well, before we close out, we have one last question here that's popping up. And the question was, will masks be required on the shuttle buses? I guess I'm assuming from the hotels to the Javits Center. I'm assuming yes, because that's public transportation,
I'm assuming
right?
Yes, because it's public transportation.
Yeah.
And they're not ours, they're New York City's. So I would say be prepared to wear a mask on the bus.
Gotcha. Well, if you could leave just one last piece of advice, what would you like to leave for everyone that may be on the border of going to Vision Expo this year? If they're trying to figure it out and they couldn't figure it out from this amazing podcast with these two amazing guests, what would you say to them if you could tell them one thing and the reason why they should make that jump and make that purchase?
So I would say, it depends on whether they've ever been to an expo before. If they have, I would say, I honestly believe this is going to be an expo unlike anyone before. I really think that our industry, it's like when we were in the depths of the shutdown in 2020, I remember saying to my friends and to my colleagues, "Hey, when this is all over, we're going to have a huge party, and isn't it going to be amazing?" And we never really got to have that because the virus never just stopped, but I think that this show in New York is going to be that coming out party for the optical industry. And so I think you're going to be missing a great experience on a number of levels if you don't come this year. And if you've never been to an expo before, I can tell you, I've worked in other industries before, and I've never seen a conference or an event like Expo in respect to how warm and welcoming everyone is. If you want to go and meet new people and network and meet people who have similar experiences that you do professionally and maybe can help you in your career moving forward, we are so fortunate in this industry to have an event like Expo where people are just standing there waiting to talk to you about your career. Yeah. I mean, if you've never tried it, just walk up to somebody and say hello and start a conversation. We're still in many ways a family industry, and this community is really so unique. And the best way to celebrate it is by being in the same place and getting to know new people.
Boom, mic drop. Best way to sum it up there. But Ashley, any advice for anyone that may be right on the edge of trying to make that decision?
Oh, I would just say it is a tremendous event. It's great for your career. It's great for your business. And it's also, in a very big way, helping to lift the entire optical industry. So showing up to Vision Expo means that the Vision Council can advocate on Capitol Hill for vision and vision care and everyone's access to vision. It means that the Vision Council can do research that can help you in your business and your practice by understanding market trends. It means that we can have events in professional education, like our partnership with Cornell and the DE&I certificate. So come, have fun, learn, see products, buy, build your practice, bring your staff, and know that by doing that, you're enabling us to do all of the other things for the greater good of the industry. So thank you for that. And you will not be lonely this year. I can tell you that.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Well, hey, everyone, check it out. Vision Expo, it's the place to be. It's no doubt about it. Education, networking, seeing old colleagues, meeting new friends, seeing the eyewear designers, amazing speakers. I mean, I could go on and on. This event is the place that you want to be. And the Vision Council has done an incredible job with keeping Vision Expo alive, with keeping this going. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of the entire eye care industry, Ashley, Scott, for making this continue on. Because without this Vision Expo, without this conference, vision care wouldn't be the same. I mean, this is one of those events that everyone in the eye care industry needs to attend. And I want everyone to show up March 31st through April 3rd, the Javits Center, New York. It's going down. It's your favorite optometrist, Dr. Darryl Glover, and the lovely Ashley Mills, and my man, my brother from another mother, Mr. Scott Shapiro. Until we see you guys next time, have a great one, all right?
Thanks, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.
Peace. All right, colleagues, and it's a wrap. Thank you dearly for hanging out with the D-Focus Media team. We hope truly something resonated with you. And if it did, be sure to give us 5 stars. And make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, you named it. And our handle is at D-Focus Media on all platforms. And until next time, be sure to keep it 2020. And we look forward to seeing you on the next